All right, so Ed, the team is off. Well, I keep saying off to a good start, but you only have two regular season matches left. But the team has continued their unbeaten streak. We'll start with the Mercer contest last Thursday. Able to get a big win. Grace Kiser, Maddie Johnston able to score goals. What did you see from the team just to earn that victory?
I thought we did a good job in the game overall. Created lots of good opportunities. Obviously, scoring really early is helpful. So Grace scored a great goal on the Thursday night with I think in the 5th minute, which always sets you out in a good way. I think that helped us. Obviously, I think we controlled a lot of the game early on in the first half and created kind of quite a few chances in the first half that we were probably hoped to put a few more away, but. Second half, I felt Mercer did a good job of changing what they were doing and making the game a little tougher for us. And obviously just happy at the end to grind the win out.
What about Grace Kiser? She scored a goal in this one, then in the tie against Georgia Southern. But a transfer from Elon usually takes players time to adjust to a new program, but she's really been contributing on the offensive end for you in a major way. Discuss how she has helped the program since she's joined.
Oh, Grace is great. I mean, you watch her train every day. She smiles, she enjoys it, she has fun. She's incredibly competitive in a really positive way, and that she brings others with her. And we knew her as a youth player. We didn't really recruit her too much because she'd committed to Elon, I think, a little earlier than we normally recruit. But we knew of her. So then when she became available, we were really interested. She came in really, really fit in pre-season. Had a little bit of an injury early on, which kind of slowed down maybe her impact in the group from the get-go. But, for the past 2 or 3 weeks, and she's been feeling a bit more comfortable with the injury, she just keeps on going kind of from strength to strength.
And then last Sunday, you had a 2-2 draw at Georgia Southern, able to get a goal by Kelsey Holloway, excuse me, the tie the game, I guess, later on in the contest. But team is now undefeated, 4-0-2 in overtime contest. I know we talked earlier, you don't like to be in so many overtime contests, but what does it say about the team that you're able to get to that time period and not concede a goal and at least get a point or a result from the contest?
We're a gritty group. They work hard. We press. They work for each other, and I think that's probably what it shows the most is that they're willing to compete to the end. And that's what I want to be a hallmark of what we do here is having a group that really nobody wants to play against because you don't know when you're down and out. So that's kind of the focus for us is keeping a group working for each other until the end, really. So we're really proud of that. Georgia Southern itself was probably our poorest performance of the year as a group, and probably, to be fair to them, their best performance. I thought they did a really good job of making it tough for us, but in past years, I think it would have been tough for us to get a result, getting a point on the road when we don't play to our potential. Whereas this year, I think the gritty nature of the players that we have allowed us to still get something out of the game. And I think that's obviously going to be a positive for us moving forward, hopefully.
So now the unbeaten streak extended to 7 matches. And now the team is 1 point behind South Alabama, who you actually faced this weekend. But the season could have gone south. And for a lot of programs, it could be easy to turn it in and, with everything that's going on. But your team is still in contention for a lot of championships and opportunities. How excited is the team to just be at this stage of the year and be competing for trophies?
I think they're really excited. We've got a young group with some really, key older players as well that have done a great job kind of teaching kids about what it's like to be playing college soccer. 2 games in a weekend at college level is challenging, and our kids tend to not be used to that in the high school and club settings. So, I think it's been a real team effort. I think the girls are really just pleased to kind of get some sense of normalcy back after, a tough 6-7 months. And obviously, we're far from normal. We're still wearing a lot of masks and distancing and, not really doing a lot of team meetings or anything like that. So it's still a little bit different, but I just think they're happy to be being successful, to have something to work towards, and which is positive, in their lives as well. And kind of to get that interaction with each other has kind of been the focus, to enjoy being a team, to enjoy competing, and hopefully we can carry that good form on through the weekend.
Before we get to the matches this weekend, you brought up an interesting point. Not a lot of team meetings. Do you Zoom? We're using Zoom right now just to pull behind the curtain a little bit.
Yeah.
Do you use Skype? Is there a Microsoft Teams. What do you use as far as, do you have a interaction where you can actually show plays and video while talking to the players? How do you work around all this?
Honestly, not really. We did an awful lot of Zoom over the first part of the lockdown because we finished obviously in March and our group was in a really good place. So we wanted to carry on kind of the teamwork and the team cohesiveness throughout that early part of the lockdown. But I think everybody in the world got a little bit tired of Zoom. I think.
So I'm the only one in America using Zoom right now, I guess. I'm late to the party, or I stay too long to the party, I guess.
No, I think this is what it's great for. I think, in the start of the lockdown, we had I was doing quizzes with friends of mine in the UK. I was doing game nights with people, and it was a way that it brought people together almost. And I think once schools and work and everything went purely on Zoom, we were just really conscious of not adding to the kids' days because they were doing all their classes on Zoom. And we were like, well, if we do something that is football related on Zoom as well, are we even creating something fun for them? And that was our focus. We didn't really do a whole lot of tactical stuff over quarantine. We chose to keep everything we did with the group more of a social and then kind of highlighting the emotional side of things to get them more in tune with each other. We included the freshmen in that as well, which is obviously good for just to get them to get names to faces and things like that. But now we've got into the season, we've chosen to do a lot of our quote unquote video work just on the field by showing just examples of what we want to do and how we want to play and what's our identity, as opposed to doing the Zoom and the in-person meetings. The only difference is we do all of our scouting. So we'll do a scout on the other team the day before a game for about 10 minutes, and we'll do it in our big video room and everyone's spaced out, and we limit them to very short periods of time, or we try and meet outside where it's, a little bit less risk of transmission with masks on. And it's unique, it's for sure. But, I think I'll be honest, before quarantine, I wasn't really aware of what Zoom was.
Same here.
So I think, it's been, the positives of quarantine have been that I think we've probably learned how to engage people a bit more. This would have probably been a phone call prior, to quarantine. And, I think having, name to a face is a very human connection. And I think it's a good element that potentially we can find as a positive at the end of all this.
I completely agree. I was unfamiliar with Zoom myself. Now I use it every day, it seems like. But let's get back to on the field itself. Big matchups this weekend. You have Troy and South Alabama. In essence, you're competing for the regular season championship this weekend. How's the team preparing physically and mentally? Because after Sunday, you're gonna know where you stand in the conference.
We will. I think it's good because we got a couple of players back. We had a couple of injuries for Sunday, which only two, and we've been pretty, knock on wood, we've been fairly lucky with injuries, but there were two fairly big ones for us. Emily Burke and Lexi Knox didn't play, or Lexi didn't play at all on Sunday, and Emily only played, I think, 15 minutes and was kind of a shadow of herself. So they're both back in contention for the weekend. So that's real positive for us because they do it, they're integral to what we do. Lexi's having a great senior year, and Emily as a junior is kind of one of our stalwarts at this point. So we're very, very happy to get them back. Both are tough games. Troy make the game very difficult for you. They're organised, they're good on set pieces, they're physical. So, for us, it's about one game at a time, because if obviously you don't get 3 points Friday, Sunday becomes, a little bit more important or a little less important depending on what South Alabama do. So, Friday's the focus, and then we'll attack Sunday in, kind of the same fashion afterwards.